Greetings to Facebook and the public, I should just say, because perhaps you watch me later on a YouTube channel. Just want to say happy Wednesday to everyone. I missed hosting a session last week. I apologize for that, but happy to have everyone now, or at least to be back on schedule. So happy Wellness Wednesday. As always, thank you for the support, for those coming back. I cherish that. Thank you for returning to Self-Care Wednesdays and self-massage technique. If this is your first time, welcome. My name is Cindy Velez Mejia. I'm a licensed massage therapist. Massage Intuition is my business, and I am, guess we'll call it, headquartered and on lockdown in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So welcome and happy to have you. This setup is actually where I was seeing clients prior to there being quite a halt on that. And so I've turned my attention to doing these live videos and some pre-recorded YouTube. So I definitely will include the link and encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you can follow and see different techniques, both to be done on yourself and ways to help take care of others. So welcome to those joining. Happy to have you. If there's any audio problems, please let me know. But if not, welcome to Massage Intuition Wellness Wednesday with Cindy. We'll get started. I've actually started to condense these. Unless, of course, you have questions or want to write comments and commentary, please do. But I've shortened them because I respect people's time, and even if you just give me 10 or 15 minutes to do something for yourself, that makes me feel like I'm doing something, and I hope that it really helps. So thank you so much for investing the time. I do encourage you to share, invite, no limits here. Anyone that can benefit, I'd love to have them join us. So let's go ahead and get started. I do like to always preface this other than welcome, and please add some comments or likes if you can hear me. I also want you to know that as massage therapists, we've gone through training, we love what we do, but of course you know yourself best. So if you have any diagnoses, recent procedures or surgeries, or on any medications that might have you question or indicate that massage is contraindicated, pressure, this type of thing, you can stay and watch, but we of course want safety first, so definitely take care of yourself. Today we're going to focus on what I thought is something that we've touched a little bit before, but a body part that can always use attention, and that's going to be the wrists, the hands, and it'll probably just work its way up as we're connected into the forearms. So let's go ahead and get started. This is very useful for anyone that works with their hands, which in this day and age, especially working from home, we're almost all doing. And so between texting, our ergonomic issue, moving the mouse around, or fellow massage therapists, physical therapy work, there could be some challenges. So let's go ahead and get started on how we can do some self-care. And actually some of the techniques and modalities I'm going to go through, or what we as myself as a massage therapist do to help relieve these areas. It's been known to help alleviate pressure from carpal tunnel. If you suffer from tennis elbow, it can help with that. It's a great relaxation technique. So if you're home, I recommend, welcome Tosh, you can do this really anywhere. I've seen people kneeling, maybe by a coffee table, because they use this leg to serve as an anchor, because this arm will do massaging, and then vice versa. I'm actually utilizing my massage table and losing my lotion bar, but my massage table as an anchor, because it's wide enough that I can, this is kind of the position we're going to be in. So one hand that will be getting the massage is going to lie face up, palm up, on coffee table, your bed. Only caution I have if you're on your bed is the mattress could be very soft and give way. So you want something that's going to be a little bit more sturdy. Like I said, that could be a nightstand table, a stool. But this is the position we're going to be in. I, of course, gravitated to starting with the right. That happens to be my dominant hand, and so I want to provide some relief for this. I am going to grab my lotion bar, and actually you can grab something. This massage is to really get in pretty deep, so it's not mandatory. This is not one, if you've been watching me, where we glide, and we kind of want to feel some friction and be able to feel tendons and muscles. So we don't necessarily need a lot of lotion or anything for this. If you have been following me, I've also started a body care line. And so it's kind of been a little bit of a joke. There may have been some confusion on how to use a lotion bar. So today I'm going to kind of clarify that. So this is a lotion bar that I've made, all natural, and happy to share my website, the store for this. But you could purchase your own as well. So if you've had a lotion bar, it really is just lotion solidified. Mine I'll use all natural, so mango butter, coconut oil, beeswax, or it could be soy. So this is what we'll use. And if you do order a lotion bar or use one, it's good for today. So the way a lotion bar works, it's not soap. The way the lotion bar works is it just goes in the palm of your hand, and you kind of rub it together like soap. I'm just kind of wringing it through because it'll start to leave and melt just by the heat of my hand. And that's probably all that I need. Okay, so I did just a little circle, and I have some lotion on either hand. And so if we get back into position, I am going to talk a bit about body mechanics on this massage. You actually are going to want to use a forward motion to create, because if we do all this hard work with this hand and we're doing all the work from the arm, elbow down, we end up kind of counterproductive, because now we've injured or aggravated this side, right? But we want to release tension on both sides. So if you've been me for a while, you know that we like to warm up the muscle. So if you'll notice, my hand can hang so that the wrist can flex and extend, and I'm actually palm down, pushing pressure towards the wrist. Down right in the middle, I'll go on the side, medial, and I'll go on the outside, lateral. Notice how these fingers stayed straight, right? So it's not fingertips and forward motion, and you should see a slight rocking. Like I'm actually bringing my body over that hand. And so the strength, the relaxation that comes into your typing, texting hand should come from the body mechanic, the whole body moving over. And I could lift it up and just pull up. Right? I'm just trying to warm. We're always going to warm up the muscle. I'm going to warm. Now, with this motion, same activity, I'm going to now flex and extend really slow. So as I go down, I'll lift my palm and I'll slowly drop it naturally. You can take your time with this massage. And I'll do that outside, push, and I'll lift and lower, lift and lower that hand. And I'll do it also on the medial, lift. And it's not a force lift. I hope that you notice that my wrist is not like an action robotically. It's a very gradual, just lift it naturally, drop it naturally, lift. Even this alone could be great relief. Midday at work, from home. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. You might feel some crackle and pops, we'll call it, in the wrist. And so that's going to be natural. That's part of what we're trying to relieve. As you do this, today we may do it in only 10 or 15 minutes, but take your time with this session. If you're going to continue to work on your wrists or your hands, take your time going through this flex and extension, okay, to really help. If as you're going through, and I'm just elevating for the purpose of teaching, and you realize like maybe there's a point right here where, ooh, that's tender, don't hesitate to just stay there. Keep flexing and extending. Maybe, so you'll notice it's just my palm down. Maybe I'm just going to do circles in that spot, applying that pressure, and then continue forward. All right? So great. So we've kind of warmed that up with that flexion and extension. And now we can, my left hand is now underneath, so the bulk of the fingers are here, and I've got my thumb on this side. And what I'm going to do, just so that you're comfortable and can try this yourself, is this arm will still lay palm up, and I'm going to start to work this hand. It's going to twist from kind of elbow to wrist. It's going to twist. So as it's going in one direction, the wrist goes the other. You notice that movement? So this wrist, the thumb is turning in, while the opposite hand, the thumb is turning out. So if we rest that down and we start that motion, it can happen slow. The slower you go, you may be able to really identify spots of tenderness. And turn again. And again, I'm facing the video, but you really want your upper body to provide that pressure. You really want your upper body to allow that hand to grip well and to then lean over. So it's not just these fingers doing that work. I really felt that one, and I particularly felt it, as would be expected, massage therapist, right here where a lot of those muscles are used for massage therapy. So keep that turning. I did it a second time. Now we can do it again and go the opposite direction. So now in my left hand, the thumb is going to go towards, we'll call it the center of the body, or towards the left. Now my right thumb will turn out. And I can do that leaning forward again. Cautious that you're not raising this. Notice that the palm stays relaxed. It's doing a turn, but it's not being elevated. So it's staying relaxed, and we're able to do pretty much a thumb stroke here. Now, if you should have any issues with thumb, a particular surgery, so your thumb can't do that stroke, you can just flip that manipulation so that the fingers are doing it. Just adapt that to make it something that could work for you, okay, all the way through. Now, I'm going to check for questions, but if you'll notice, the less lotion here allows for a true grip. So now I can actually feel. And you during this motion, I don't know if anyone's doing it with me. Hello, everyone. Oh, my husband's on. Hello, husband. I love you too. You can feel like ropey tendons. You can feel some ropiness. And right here for me, I know usually I close my eyes in a good way. This was like ooh, this is sore. I can feel extra tension there. So again, for this case, I may be kind of going through it quickly, but this is one of these, just watching TV in the evening or however your shift works, take your time doing this massage. Okay, so I'm up closer now, but all that's happening is this thumb is still going right. Now I have all the fingers up on the top, and they are just turning in. Ooh, I feel that. I absolutely feel that. Now, if you've noticed, for most of these, when I did this motion and went forward and was flexing, or now that we're doing the thumb stroke left to right or right to left, just the hands going opposite direction, I didn't spend a lot of time on the wrist because we're about to do that. So we'll get to that now. Just checking everyone as we go through. Oh, I love it. My husband's coworkers are informing him that I'm a married woman. He can't be saying love you on here. Thank you very much, Brad. I appreciate that. Hey, yes, Jake, thanks for joining. Jake just did a donation of platelets. Kudos to you. This would be great to recirculate some blood flow into your arm. Great. So did everybody catch what we did initially? We started with just massaging to bring warmth to the arm, right? Very little oil or lotion. And then we started to do the pressure, but we were braced on the table. Remember body mechanics, so this hand isn't doing all the work. It was actually anchored down and is pushing in the middle and then on either side. Then we did that same forward motion to the wrist, but we started to flex and extend, just a natural drop. And then we started to do fingers braced on the opposite side, and we started to do this rotation. This can be braced down, or this could be hand raised, and then we went the opposite way. And you can tell me, I'm kind of interested, if you are practicing along, let me know if you did the right hand with what we call internal rotation, so turning in towards the center of the body. Was that more tender for you? Or did you find external rotation, so my thumb turning out to the outside of my body? Was that more tender? And if you haven't tried it already, switch position. So here we're doing what we call a thumb stroke, but if I flip and put my whole hand, so the majority of the fingers, and I do the same external and internal rotation, did you feel one or the other having more tenderness? I'm going to say it again. Take your time with this session. So we're doing it together. I love being here live because if you have questions or you needed to just kind of see a little bit closer what exactly was she doing there, I'm happy to, but this is a definite keep in your pocket session, because all of us, very few positions or jobs I can think of that aren't just repeatedly using their hands, their wrists, and a repeated motion. DJs included, auto repair communities, massage therapists, office work, teachers, now everything on the computers. It's all a lot of wrist-hand manipulation. So this is going to be a great technique, but we can't forget the wrist. So with the wrist, even though we went pretty far down, we can cup again, fingers towards the bottom. We're just going to do what we'll call a broad stroke. So I'm literally going to go from the medial side of the wrist to the outside. Okay, so I'm just doing this broad stroke. I'll come a little closer if that helps. I'm just going to do this broad stroke on the wrist. That one can feel really, really good. And so if you visualize, I won't get too into it, but right, so our hand is made of metacarpals, lots of little bones in here. Just imagine, so I'm not at the base of the wrist, I'm kind of getting to the bottom of the palm of the hand. If I went with a really wide stroke there, there's lots of little rocks. The carpals look like rocks nicely laid out. There's 2 rows of them. Imagine that you're trying to span them out. Okay, and then I can flex in and still do that motion. Span out, and then I extend and I span out my thumb across those metacarpals. For those that really struggle with wrist issues, you may even just do this forward, backward, very natural, not a forced, very natural, soft wrist, and then keep that thumb just working across as you keep doing this. All I'm doing here is a pinch motion. This is what I'm doing with my hand. And I'm kind of walking across the base of that wrist by those metacarpals. I keep it going. Mine pops. Mine's doing some popping in there. Some of that is just age. It's use. And some of it could be release of air, release of tension in there. So you can just do this forward and backwards motion. And I'm just this pinch as I go all across that metacarpals. Okay? And so it's right here. Just this line here, and then of course right underneath. All right? And it's really just a pinch. Who remembers what this is called? For those that have been on for a few sessions. Who remembers what this is called? Anyone? This right here. Any recollection? Could be a free lotion bar if someone gets it right. This piece right here. If you don't, that's okay. I won't say it yet to give people a chance, because if you're massaging with me, I'm not going to have you rush and type into your phone. But let's pay attention to this area that I won't name. It is an area that can offer a lot of relief. So if you notice that same claw motion, if you've been with me, Cindy claw, fingers curved, same claw motion, we're going to do this circle around this area. So we're going to do the full circle here, pushing in, pinching, and going circular. We've done this before. A lot of great feedback. But if you notice, I go pretty wide, so it's not, just here at the end of the thumb. I'm going that full circle, notice that. I'm going down into that wrist area, almost to the point where they meet, right? Because this is doing circular too. Let me give you a side view of what that looks like. All right, we're doing the full circle, so sure, you see this motion, but we're pinching on the other side too. So we're gonna do that full circle all the way through. Okay, and then to close that out, we can pull on the thumb all the way through, all those knuckles. That feels good to all the fingers. I have found that sometimes just pinching between these two fingers is not enough, the thumb and the pointer, so I will do the claw, ring finger, middle finger and index, and clamp and pull it all the way through. Same pressure to the end. Clamp and pull that all the way through. Clamp and pull that all the way through. That's a great way to end, kind of having worked from the elbow, the forearm, the wrist, any takers on this? Anyone? I'm checking on the name of this. Okay, I'll still wait. I won't say anything. So each finger, and you can clamp this way as well. You can clamp through here. And if we had done both sides, a great way to kind of end a session like this is to pull the fingers through, interlocking, and pull the fingers through. If you'd like to promote circulation, Jake, if you're still with us, you can pull through downward. That'll help to promote circulation. So I'm doing the same thing, you guys can't see, but I'm just pulling downward, pulling that interlocking fingers and pulling that downward. Even a soft, kind of like a back scratch stroke down the arm can be really, really helpful. And if you notice, I've rotated my arm, so I'm giving that same therapeutic massage all the way through. If you have been doing this with me, I'm interested, or when you do, for those of you joining us later or watching on YouTube, when you're done with that, I'm interested for you to do a comparison before you start working on the other arm. And there's no right or wrong as which arm to start with. Just drop your hands either on your lap or just drop them and see what you feel. Is there a difference? And if so, what is it? What do you feel if you did the session? What do you feel is the difference between the now massaged side versus the side that hasn't been massaged yet? What is the difference? Some of the things you could be looking for that are fine to feel is this hand may actually feel a little heavier. Promoted circulation. So there's some pulling, but for a therapeutic reason. It may feel tired. And you might actually have some issue because now this hand has to do the work on the other side and we don't want it to be weaker, but this side might be a little bit more tired. Really, it's just relaxed. There has been a real opening up, wrist, forearm. I will close out with showing you some lateral elbow session and therapy that you can do, but this side might feel a bit more tired. So with that recommendation, I say your dominant hand should be worked on first because it's probably the one that has the greatest tension, and as it starts to feel tired, it may not have as much to give, if you will. So if this hand doesn't quite give you as much aches and pains and tension, any release would feel better. But this, if, for example, if the right side needed more, make that the first side to go. Actually, I see Miss Rika has put in a recommendation. It's got a fancy name. We're going to go with thumb pad, but Thenar Eminence is actually the name of this area. She's already got some rose lotion bars, so what next? But this thumb pad has so many tendons and muscles and nerves that end in it that many will utilize just what I'm doing here, this clasp and pull down to the base of the thumb pad. Oh, it made me do my eye roll. It feels really good. If you're not, maybe you don't eye roll, but if you don't feel a relief there, it could be that you're not providing enough tension. I mean, if I repeated that here, that's how close I'm trying to get them together. Yeah, I don't stay out here and just I'm pinching in, keeping that muscle in between and keeping that tension till I get to them being basically together. Okay, try that on both sides. Yeah, I can feel that. That's fantastic. If you are a loyal follower, you've noticed too that there have been times where, in case, again, thumb issues, you have clasping challenges, you can soft knuckle from the opposite side and just do rotations in there. Ooh, I feel this one. But don't deprive, do the whole pad. So I'm still applying a good amount of pressure. If you had to see, it's pushing in. I can feel that. On today's session, the work in the good job thumb pad, Miss Rika, as well as the work when we were doing this internal and external rotation, okay, it's not light. And so there are moments where you may feel uncomfortable, but I don't want you to be in pain. So if you have received massages, you know that there's a difference where you're like, oh, that's a good tension. That's okay. We promote that. That is a muscle being released the right way. But if it's sharp pain, if it's pain, not uncomfortable, then you ease off of that or maybe leave that type of session alone. So this routine, excellent. Many have found that doing it in different positions helps too. So raising the arm and turning could also be extremely useful. Once you're done with the routine, and again, just a quick recap, imagine that I am on a table. We warmed up laterally and medially. We started to soft flex and extend and did that same motion with the extending and flexing now. We grasped from underneath and started to do internal rotation. So right hand thumb turns in, left hand thumb turns out while it hugs and clasps. And I'm working my way up from the elbow to the base of the wrist. Okay, then we went the opposite way. So now right hand thumb turns out, external rotation, left hand thumb turns in. Everybody see that? All the way back up. We could do it with the wrist up, elbow flexed at 90 degrees. Yeah, absolutely. And we may feel that tension. We may cup over. So we've got more hands actually pulling through. Do not rush this. You find a spot, ooh, right here, feels like it's pretty tender. Soft wrist. I may flex and extend it and do some circular motion with those fingers. And then we're going to go ahead and do some soft stroking. We worked our thumb pads as well, and at the wrist we did these broad strokes. We got to our metacarpals and stretched each of those out. You can do some internal rotation for this as well. So we're rotating in, getting to each of those metacarpals, which is what led us to the thumb pads. And then we interlocked and we're pulling through the fingers, We can slowly get to a downward motion to promote circulation and soft strokes on both sides. Now in today's session, I only showed you the dominant so that you don't feel uneven. I encourage you to invest the time to do the same technique. I will have this on the YouTube channel so you can follow along if you forgot some of the steps, and go ahead and make yourself even because you could even literally right now feel lopsided, and if I had to depict it, I would look like this because my right hand feels heavier, but definitely more open, the best expression, more flexible, definitely more released. So that is a self-massage. Of course, you can do this to someone else, but a great technique on how to love on yourself. And I highly recommend this particular session at least once a week, especially for those working from home in office environment or any that have to do just repeat motion with the wrist. Take your time with it. Take your time. It's a really great way to offer relief. It has been a pleasure hosting you again. For those that made comments about my products, like Miss Rika, thank you so much for your support. I will include in the comments and on the YouTube page a link to an online store where I am making body care and hair care products. If your body loves it and reacts well, very often your hair responds well, and many have been using the body butters for their hair and getting great results. I hope to have some pictures for you soon, so please look out for that. I appreciate your time, for your donations, and please know that I offer virtual massage. It may sound strange, but it's really effective. And just a little personal update for those of you that have been following me. I have actively started my certification and training as a doula. So all of you who helped me get to that point, thank you so much. I am also available as a doula in training virtually. So to all expecting families and moms, the thought of being able to comfort, support, and cheer you on warms my heart. So I'll put all of this amazing news out there. From the storm for me came a lot of exploring and good things. So I hope this session helped. Take care of your elbows, your wrists, and your hands. I did mention it, the elbow bone, saying just a circular rotation here, and you can work that all the way up to your wrist. I'm really pushing in to create and relieve any elbow pain. So that would give you a complete elbow, wrist, forearm massage. I was so happy to see you. I really enjoy getting a chance to look forward to something, see faces, see comments. Everyone, stay safe. Take care of yourself. Reach out to me with questions or a way that I can help. Thank you for supporting Cindy Velez Mejia, Massage Intuition. I will soon be announcing my doula name, business name, and for all the growth. Take care of yourselves, because that way you can help take care of others. Have a great week. I look forward to checking in and staying updated. Thank you again for Massage Intuition. Have a great night, everyone.